Doesn't seem like anyone's home. But I tell you what, if I knock enough times, someone might come. Tell you what, it worked in Amori. Oh my god, that makes me Mari. And or Kel. That's an uncomfortable thought. Welcome back to Undertale. Last time, we fought a dummy. And we met a people-pleasing phantom. Isn't that some lovely alliteration? We could also say a passive people-pleasing phantom. You know, whatever floats your boat. You know, I can manage to say passive people-pleasing phantom, but I can't say floats your boat. It's one of those days. Anyways, I went all the way back to save our favorite passive people-pleasing phantom. Hey, my house is up here. Oh my gosh, what does your house look like? In case you want to see, just in case, like, but you don't have to. There's absolutely no pressure. Only if you have time in your schedule. Like, these are the kinds of phrases that we add to make it feel as though we're not being assertive, because the idea of assertiveness feels like too much. Like too big of an ask. A lot of times when we don't feel like confident or we don't have a lot of practice being assertive, the idea of assertive is hard because we don't see it as being assertive. Like in our brain, we label it as maybe being selfish, as being maybe arrogant, or just being like aggressive. We have a hard time recognizing that these things are just being assertive and they're not aggressive. It's not too big of an ask. It's not selfish. Or even saying to ourselves, okay, if we do call it selfish or if we do call it aggressive, just be aggressive. The idea of like how we label these things, how we perceive these things is something that can stop us from being assertive because it feels like too big of an ask. A lot of times too is the idea of like how much we've practiced it. If we've never been assertive and never seen that it is okay, then why would we ever do it? So like our life experience also impacts that. Sometimes we've been around people who have big reactions and we feel as though it is related to the things that we have done. That feels like it's the only solution. So then we do things to try to change how other people feel, to try to help other people feel better or to avoid negative emotions. And so that also means that then we do what we can, we end up changing our behaviors to do what we can in other areas of our lives. So our communication becomes very passive because we're trying to basically say, I don't want you to feel a certain way when I say this thing. And that's why I keep saying people pleasing, because we talk about people pleasing in society as though people pleasing is about making people happy. It's literally called people pleasing, right? It's the title of the concept. But what I found with a lot of my work is that people pleasing is not about making people happy. It is that we have in our mind labeled a lot of emotions as negative. Disappointment, frustration, anger. We mentally label those emotions as negative. So it's not about making other people happy. It's about these emotions are negative. Therefore, I'm going to do what I can to make sure other people don't experience negative emotions. And I say that because sometimes I'll have conversations with people and they're like, well, I'm not trying to make people happy. So they don't mentally see what they're doing as people pleasing. But once we say, well, what about trying to make it so other people aren't disappointed or frustrated? That is, once they recognize that that is what they're doing, then we can sit here and say, okay, but we are talking about people pleasing them. So the reason why I'm saying this, the reason why I'm talking about our communication style and passiveness and people pleasing when it comes to this character is because that's what we see when they're talking. They are using phrases to soften their language, like that's like passive communication style. They're using phrases to soften their language. And my guess is because they are people pleasing. So the people pleasing impacts how we communicate. It makes our communication passive because, or at least in this case, that's what we're saying, because this idea of I don't want someone to feel insert negative emotion or emotion that we are labeling as negative. And so I'm going to change my language to try to make sure that doesn't happen. And that is overall people pleasing. We also see this with like emails. When we say sorry a lot, we apologize a lot, we have a lot of exclamation points because we want people to perceive us a certain way. If we have a lot of pleases, things like that, because we're essentially trying to change people's perceptions to avoid what we are thinking of as negative emotions, or in case you don't. So it's almost like no matter what, this ghost is trying to add a lot of comments that give us an out, because like, I don't want you to feel pressure. If we're labeling pressured or anxiety as a negative emotion, then that's where the people pleasing comes in. I'm going to do everything that I can. I'm going to add all of these things so you don't feel this negative emotion. Well, that's people pleasing. You feel a calming tranquility. The irony there is like, we think of tranquility or like calm as the opposite of this like negative emotion that is anxiety. So this is not where I can walk. Very curious about this ghost home now. Are you in this one? What is in the other one? Oh, it's locked. Does Sans live there too? Oh, you really came. And then sometimes we talk about people pleasing and like lower self-esteem. We get like shocked Pikachu face when we've actually built connections with people, because we're constantly telling ourselves this repeated story in our heads that people don't like us, we're a constant failure, we're not good enough. And so we're shocked that people like us, because that goes against this narrative that we're telling ourselves. And so the idea of like, I'm sorry, people are proving this narrative wrong. And then a lot of times we'll do mental gymnastics in our heads to find a way to tell ourselves how that isn't true. Like, they felt pressured to do that. They didn't really want to come. They only came because X, Y, and Z. And so we find ways to continue to tell ourselves why the really shitty and awful narratives in our brain are true, despite the fact that people greatly care for us and have amazing connections with us and see all of the amazing positive qualities and strengths that we have, because we don't see those within ourselves. Sorry, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, because if we say that this ghost has some like a hard time with self-esteem, which I don't think is too much of a leap, and some people-pleasing tendencies, which often go together, then they would have a hard time believing that people liked them enough to show up, because that doesn't match the types of thoughts that come with lower self-esteem. It's not much, but make yourself at home. Even that phrase of "it's not much" is a way to minimize ourselves. When we are having a hard time with our self-esteem, we often become very good at just shitting on ourselves. Sometimes this comes out in our conversation. We'll find ways to say, oh, like, these good qualities don't count. People will compliment us and we'll be like, oh, here's why that doesn't count. If someone says like, we look good today, we'll be like, oh, thanks. Like, I spent 2 hours on it, or so-and-so did my hair, or like, we find ways to like reject those compliments because that doesn't fit the narrative that we're terrible or awful or whatever. Even with this example of "it's not much," we find ways to say how something is terrible or awful or not good enough because it's what we honestly believe. And that doesn't always come out in our conversation, but this is a really good example of how that can come out in conversation, because that's our honest viewpoint on the world. I also want to point out that when someone says "make yourself at home," there's like different levels of what that means, depending on our relationship with the person. If we've never been to someone's house, we don't usually expect them to, there's a certain amount of playing host that we still do. We don't usually expect our guests to come and open up the fridge and quite literally help themselves, versus the best friends that we've had since childhood, where we've just literally grown up in their home as well as our home. Those are the types of people, when we say, like, they probably have a key to our house, we probably don't even tell them to make themselves at home. They probably do raid our fridge all the time. So when the ghost saying "make yourself at home," I immediately am like, what's in your fridge? But I also recognize that would probably be socially inappropriate if I've never been here before. I also feel like this ghost having these people-pleasing, like self-esteem things coming up would probably have a hard time telling me no. Because that also often goes with people pleasing, because we don't want people to feel frustrated or shocked or like disappointed. We often then won't tell people no. We won't set boundaries because we don't want people to feel those emotions that we label as negative. So that's another thing that very commonly comes up with people pleasing. Having said all that, though, I'm going to look in your fridge. Oh, are you hungry? when I picture this, I picture their next thing being like, let me go above and beyond to make you food then if I perceive you being hungry, because I'm going to label that as like negative. Also, like, I don't want to see myself as being like a bad host. I don't want to see myself in a negative way too. I can get you something. Yeah, exactly. I can get you something to eat. Like, you do not have to go above and beyond. This is a ghost sandwich. Do you want to try it? Sure. You attempt to bite into the ghost sandwich. You phase right through it. Oh, never mind. I see something like this being the kind of thing where suddenly it would be very easy for someone in the situation to say, I should have known better. How could I have not thought of that? Here's how I'm terrible. Because that does fit the narrative of we're terrible and awful and all those other things, which you're not, don't you? I recognize that you may have those thoughts, but we're going to put those thoughts into a teeny tiny little box and put that aside for a second. So when we have these negative thoughts, we often look for things that confirm those thoughts and reject things that are not in line with those thoughts. That is why if someone gives us a compliment, we'll say, oh, no. Like, we'll kind of push it away because that is not in line with our current thought process. So if we didn't think of the fact that we can't eat someone can't eat a ghost sandwich, we would say, that is in line with my current thought process about how I'm a terrible person. Therefore, this feels like evidence for this negative thought. And that this is how negative thoughts can continue for so long. It is human nature to look at life through the eyes of like, well, what proves that this is true? What evidence is there? And if we feel like all we see is evidence for a negative belief, that negative belief is going to feel like it's a very strong belief. Now, the reason why I said that I recognize that you, mysterious person, you may have these negative beliefs and to just box them up for a second is because I don't want to just tell someone, don't think that, because that's just like, that's not how we change these beliefs. If that's all it would took, I swear to God, I would make a late night infomercial and I would sell that shit for so much money. Or alternatively, Big Pharma would have sold that shit already for so much money. Weirdly enough, that has not happened. So what that tells me is that the solution is not to tell ourselves, just don't think that. Weird how that happens. A lot of times when we tell ourselves, don't think that, we often pay even more attention to something. It's like if I tell you, don't think of like a crocodile in a pink tutu. Suddenly we're going to be thinking, damn, that croc looks really good in a tutu. So that's often what happens when we tell ourselves, just don't think of that. We think of it more. So when people say, just don't be anxious. Wow. First of all, thank you. I never thought of that before. But also suddenly we're just going to be paying attention to it more because that's just not how it works. We can't just like not think of it. So I recognize that you may have these thoughts. It's not as easy as saying just don't think of it when we talk about getting rid of these thoughts, changing these belief systems. After a great meal, I like to lay on the ground and feel like garbage. This feels like you're proving a lot of my comments about self-esteem and things like that. It's a family tradition. Oh, so not only are we saying that there's like lower self-esteem, but like maybe this is like a learned thing from our family. Great. Do you want to join me? That was a very also passive ask. I'm going to say yes because you feel like you need a friend. Okay, follow my lead. What is this, corpse pose? Here you go, you'll lie down as long as you don't move. So, only move when you want to get up, I guess. We're just gonna sit here. I didn't expect shit to happen. I thought it was just gonna be like, the music would continue, and that would be it. I didn't expect this like, suddenly we see the universe even though we're underground. Slightly feels cosmic horror-y, and I don't know why. Now I'm not quite sure if I let it continue if something else will happen. Suddenly there's a jump scare of Cthulhu. Boo! Okay, I'm I'm gonna move now, buddy. Well, that was nice. That was different. Thank you. How come you have headphones but I hear your music? You still need to recover after all that lying down. For what? I'm gonna keep working on that CD mix. Oh, you're making music. Oh, that's my TV. There's a show I like to watch on it. Is it the same show's Papyrus? Or that Papyrus likes to watch? Sometimes. This CD is labeled Spook Tunes. Play it? Sure. The beginning almost sounded like Inspector Gadget to me for a second. What about this one? Spook Wave. Like synthwave? Oh my god, it is! A bit. From what very little I know of music. So it's the same tune, just different, like, Ghouliday music. Just like different themes? Genres. I liked this one. How about, why, can I click on your spiderweb? It is a spiderweb. There's a flyer for a bake sale on it. Where the spiders were and we like got whatever thing we got from them. It's also something that like, it's not quite socially acceptable for us to just like go up to someone's computer and be like, what's on your browser search history? Let me see what are you doing on Google? Like, and computers, internet browsers open to a music sharing forum. Okay, can I shut your computer off? God, that'd be so invasive. The computers, okay, it just says the same thing. Can I talk to you again? Dang, that ambiance. It's like my whole body is being spooked down to your core. Okay. That's all you'll say. Well, this is fun. Oh, shit. What the heck is that music? Spook wave. Spooky wave. It's something. I don't know, dude, but it's spooking me out. Smiley face. This is worse than Shiren? Who's that? No way. Shiren is way less scary. If you're so scared, why do you keep winking? Yeah, wink. I'm scared. Wink. It's like I have a compulsion to flirt and I can't help it. I flirt when I'm scared. But Baka, these are winks of fear. Fear winks. Forget it. This beat is too filthy. Filthy. Are you into this? Whoosh! Wait! Don't leave me. Is this creepy music my punishment for being creepy? Please stop. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street lights. People. Oh. Okay. I'll never creep again. Ah, wink. Damn. I am a fan of this music. I'm gonna save though. This music, super calming. Filled with determination. So is this like the benefit of visiting our friend? We get music that scares. It's like Repel from Pokemon, just like keeps everybody away from us for a while or in this area. I'm sorry, I didn't read any of that except for the word Hotland. Where is Hotland? Blook. It's like book with an L. Blook Acres. Hotland. Temi Village? I already went north though. Oh, different north. No! I want my music back. Let me go east. I want to see where Hotland is. I went west. I'm not great with directions, as evidenced by me doing the like cardinal directions every single time. Who are you? I saw you earlier. This little bird wants to carry you across. Oh! Accept the bird's offer? No. But thank you. Hot land. Like Hot Wheels, but a land. Okay, so there's like... There's zombies one way. Dummies this way. I saved. Okay, so if I die, it's not the end of the world. What? 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 Nani? It's a living. It's a dead. Okay, don't get angry eyes at me. I'm very intrigued by this door. Just knock. I just go clock, clock. Doesn't seem like anyone's home, but I tell you what, if I knock enough times, someone might come. Tell you what, it worked in Amori. Oh my god, that makes me Mari. And or Kel. That's an uncomfortable thought. Okay, maybe I should take the hint. Bye! I guess I'm gonna go off to the graveyard before I see wherever or whatever Hotland is. What was the other thing? North was Blook Acres. Temi Village was who knows where. Then why is it on the sign if you don't know where it is? What is this? Where does this go? Oh! I didn't even see that there was a way to go off there. It's a snail. Wow, I should have known that. For some reason, you can't help but wonder what it tastes like. Well, it probably tastes like escargot. For anybody who's had escargot, that's probably what it tastes like. That's literally the word for it. You have a nose and a mustache. Snail, snail, a long journey extends in front of you. Is that what snail, snail translates to? Snail, snail, reach far and stretch beyond the horizons. Are you a poet and didn't know it? Snail, snail, so snaileth. Sambiel. Oh my god, are you supposed to be Cyrano? Is that what you're supposed to be? Damn, okay. Not like the new Cyrano movie, but like the Cyrano. That would make sense, I guess, if they're like leading into stereotypes. I see you. Awkward. I'm working right now. Looks like you're lurking right now. I mean, welcome to Blook Family Snail Farm. Are you Blook? Blurk? I can't say that word. I really can't. Yeah, I'm the only employee. Okay. This place used to get a lot of business. The Fire Nation attacked. Every time there's a sentence to say used to, it's such a good opportunity. But our main customer disappeared one day. Who was their main customer? Now it's just some hairy guy that shows up once a month. Who would that be? This snail is counting dollar bills. Dollar bills, yo! What are you doing? I've been long overdue for a second house. Good luck in this economy. Is this snail racing? Oh my god, it is. Do you want to play a game? Like the last time I heard that concept, it was in Batman, and I don't think it ended well. It's called Thundersnail, like a thunderdrome. I think Flowery would like this. Kill or be killed. You know, you just like make your own WWE island here. Those snails. The snails will race, and if the yellow snail wins, you win. It's 10G to play. I'm not really a gambling type person, so I'm gonna say no. Oh. It's nothing about you. That's one of the hard parts about people pleasing, is that when something happens, we see it as like a reflection on us, or like we could have done something to change it. It's a bit like saying that we can control other people. That sounds malicious, or like we're puppeteers, or like, I'm doing this on purpose. Like, it's not like that. But it's, if we are basically saying that our actions can influence how someone else feels, kind of like saying, well, if I say just the right thing, then I will make sure that someone doesn't feel disappointed or frustrated. That is like saying that you can control someone's emotions because you're saying, if I do just the right thing, if I do action A, then it will cause action B within someone else. That is like saying you can control other people. But we can't, because there's always going to be someone else's perception or whatever that comes into play that is actually going to impact how they feel or react to things. So we can never actually control other people. Never. But because we are believing that we can control other people, their reactions to things, their emotions, things like that, when someone feels an emotion that we are labeling as negative, when we tried to make that sure that that didn't happen, we see it as somehow we caused that. Somehow we screwed up, we took the wrong action, and we then blame ourselves for that. That is one very distinct, there's one aspect of people pleasing that really impacts us in a not great way. This is one reason why working on people pleasing actually helps us a lot. Because like this, sounds like this ghost is taking this in a not great way, when really the whole reason why I made that decision is because I don't like gameplay. It has nothing to do with them. But it sounds like they're interpreting that as though there's something negative that like they did or they said, that kind of thing. Sorry, buddy. Unless Temmie Village is that house that I incessantly knocked at, I don't think I've seen that either. So there's a ominous doorway. Water that I can't get into. Feels like there's gonna be an octopi there. And where does this go? Hurt, beaten, and fearful for our lives, we surrendered to the humans. No. 7 of their greatest magicians sealed us underground with a magic spell. I thought humans didn't have magic. Anything can enter through the seal, but only beings with a powerful soul can leave. Okay, so that's why a human needs to be used to cross the magical seal. I don't know if I should continue right. The music was fading and I was like, oh my gosh, the music stopped. Can I read what you say? No. Oh. Doesn't that look like the Zelda thing? I don't know. I don't know my Zelda stuff. Anyways, whoa, there got some neat junk for sale. Like what? I got 250 G's. Crab apple. Heals 18 HP. Looks like a crab. That checks out. Sea tea. Heals 10. Speed up in battle. Oh, it's cheaper too. Cloudy glasses. I like to be able to see through my glasses. What are you looking for? Isn't that like the Resident Evil? What are you buying? Isn't that the thing? Yeah. I'm gonna go with a yes. Armor. 5 defense. So it's -5 compared to what I have now? But you're invincible longer? I'm sorry, you're invincible at all? Where are you invincible? When? What? Why? How? Torn notebook. Weapon. 2 attack. So it's -5 attack? Invincible again! I don't feel like buying these because I have the ballerina stuff that's like defense. I need all the defense I can fucking get. Don't I have healing items that I guess I just never used? I should probably check that out. Exit. Can I sell? Ha! Trying to get rid of my junk, not get more of it. Nobody lets me sell. What is the point in having that option then? Though I've heard if you want to sell stuff, the Temmie Village is your best bet. Where is that? Yeah, thank you. Where is it? Yeah. I don't remember. Thanks. Talk about yourself. I've been around a long time. Maybe too long. Were you born on the Galapagos Islands? Studying history sure is easy when you live through so much of it yourself. Wow. That emblem. Yes! You don't know what that is? No, I actually don't. There's like vague references here and there, but like, I don't fully know. What am I teaching you kids in school nowadays? I'm not in school? Also, nowhere in school would they teach me about video games. Cause like, I don't know, that won't help you in life type of thing. It's like how they tell you, don't quote Wikipedia. Like, that's not what you would do as an adult, is literally just look at Wikipedia. That's the Delta rune. The emblem of our king, the kingdom. Is that just more of a reference that I'm just not getting? Of monsters. Okay. Great name, huh? It's as I always say, old King Fluffy Buns. Oh my fucking god, is that actually the name of the king? King Fluffy Buns. No wonder your king can't, like, comes up with names like Home and New Home or whatever it is. There's more I can ask about the emblem? That emblem actually predates written history. The original meaning has been lost to time. All we know is that the triangle symbolizes monsters below, and the winged circle above symbolizes something else. Oh my god, am I thinking of that because of the game Deltarune? Is that what I'm thinking of? Most people say it's the angel from the prophecy. Well, you're gonna have to go on about, yeah, the prophecy. Oh, yeah, you know, like, no big deal. You know, just the prophecy. Okay, no, you can't just end a sentence there. You're gonna have to keep going. We're getting into lore, my dudes. Legend has it an angel who has seen the surface will descend from above and bring us freedom. Is that supposed to be me? Lately, the people have been taking a bleaker outlook, calling that winged circle the angel of death. Oh, fantastic. Harbinger of destruction. We need to free us from this mortal realm. That is one way to look at it, isn't it? In my opinion, when I see that little circle, I just think it looks neat. It's just pretty. Cool. Tell me about King Fluffy Buns. He's friendly, happy-go-lucky kind of guy. You know, just wants to kill me, the angel of death, I guess, to free everybody? If you keep walking around long enough, you'll probably meet him. Fantastic. He loves to walk around and talk to people. You mean monsters. Talk to monsters. Why do I call her Dreamer Fluffy Buns? Oh, that's a great story. Oh, his name literally is not Fluffy Buns. Feel a bit deceived? It would have been better if it was, though. I don't remember it great. But if you come back much later, I'm sure I'll have remembered it by then. Will you? Undyne, tell me about Undyne. Undyne! Yeah, she's a local hero around here. I've gathered that she's terrifying. Through grit and determination alone, she fought her way to the top of the Royal Guard. I don't think it's through grit and determination alone. I think it's through grit, determination, and her spear. Actually, she just came through here asking about someone who looked just like you. Someone wearing a tutu? Or a manly bandana. And watch your back, kid. And buy some items. You might just save your hide. Yeah, great. I need to see what items I have. Be careful out there, kid. Snowman piece. Snowman piece. Oh, heals 45 HP. Please take this to the ends of the earth. Yeah. Do I get something cool if I do that? How much stuff can I hold? How much do you heal? 11. Oh, it's too prone. You can eat it twice. Okay, so why don't I get some healing stuff? I guess might as well. Let's get 1 crab apple, 2 crab apples, and a CT. 2 CTs. Oh, I'm carrying too much. Okay. The snow. Oh, and the flowers. Okay, we're gonna stop here. Because I don't know what's ahead, and that makes me a little scared. So, in this episode, we have explored a ghost house, tried to eat ghost food, had potentially an existential crisis on the floor, and listened to some synthwave, ghost wave. Yes. And bought some items and filled up our box with healing items that I have not used, as you do in games. So, I would love to hear your thoughts in the video, and I will see you next time.